Welcome back to the Wrestling Related Podcast, where the topics are related to wrestling. The three of us are related to each other, and I always catch one of you two off guard when I go, welcome! How you doing, guys? I'm Josh, and that's...
Dustin.
And that's...
and Corey.
And you guys are catching us.
You.
Yes. You're here on your favorite podcasting platform, even if that happens to be YouTube. Good to see you. Or good to be seen.
You too.
Especially if you're watching us in video format, which would be on either YouTube or Spotify. Shout out to all those that are subscribing, following, leaving comments. You know how to do that thing. Speaking of comments, guys got any comments on what's been going on over wrestling in the last couple weeks? Anything that's been...
Oh my goodness. Where do we begin?
I mean, if you're asking me...
Let's go alphabetically, shall we?
Okay, alphabetic.
AEW. What do we have AEW happenings as of recent?
I thought it was Corey.
I thought it was Corey. He said, alphabetically,
No.
and he's just like, let's go alphabetically. Me.
That does sound like me. Who has two thumbs, been accused of being a narcissist, and wants to talk about himself? This guy.
So AEW, hey,
Yes.
the thing with me, and I was just about to say this, that I've enjoyed out of both promotions, and we can talk about it with AEW first, is slow build storytelling.
Love it.
Whatever is going on with Moxley and whatever this new faction is, we don't even know what to call them. Like, we have, they're not the Blackpool Combat Club, but it's like, I don't know what the name is, and I don't care what the name is, because...
And you don't need it.
Yeah,
Need it.
I'm hooked. He says that he's the boss now, and everybody has to answer to him, and I'm like, okay, what are we supposed to do? Because I'm here for it.
So I do want to say this is the same, and hear me out. This is the same concept, the same base format that NWO did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing it,
which was a rip-off
NWO did
of
it.
Something in Japan.
Yep.
Correct.
Same thing, D-Generation X.
Exactly. Nexus was a poor excuse of it, but there was just this one's really good.
The
really
WCW
good.
invasion angle.
Mm-hmm. There were some good things that came out of Nexus.
Oh my gosh. The WCW invasion angle was the equivalent of going out with the hottest chick in town.
A good commentator.
Just to realize that she was just dumb and didn't even know how to kiss.
All right, I missed something.
Did you catch it?
I caught dumb and doesn't know how to kiss, and I was glad I missed the first part of it. But it had something to do with somebody reminded you of a date you once went on.
We all. Not too far.
Just one, Corey?
There have been a few.
No, I'm loving the Mox thing.
I love it. Yeah.
The fact that Yuta finally turned, I do like that. Because, I understand what he was trying to do and what he did that, but...
Turned, and yet, even the facial expressions, the reluctant turn, almost like he knows, if I don't do this,
it's going to be
I'm
painful.
the next first target.
Yep.
So this is a self-preservation thing where I either fall in line or I'm against them. Like, you're with us or you're against us.
It goes to depth of character when you're developing a character. If you got somebody that's just your generic, I'm the bad guy.
Right.
I have a black hat on, I'm the bad guy. I have a white hat on, I'm the good guy. Yay, me.
Unless you're JBL.
That guy.
White hat, still the bad guy.
Yep.
Right.
No, I love the way that it is, because it has been slow. We're a few weeks out here from all of this taking place, but even that, there was still a couple weeks prior that were kind of leading up to. I mean, really, actually, you think about this. This goes back, what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. Because we're not just talking about Wrestle Dream. It was before that. At what all? I don't even remember what that one. All In, All Out, something like that. And it's just like
All In.
This is. It's such a slow build that we don't know what's going on. We don't know what their goal is. We don't know who all's a part. We don't know their name. We know
Shane McMahon.
There's more we don't know than what we do know.
We don't need to know right now, as long as they continue to progress the story, and we don't just have a regurgitation week after week.
Yeah.
Like WCW did with the NWO after a few months.
Yeah. And I do hope that with this one that they don't go down NWO, Wolfpack, the run-on thing. I mean, every promotion's done it where they just took it too far. They added too many people into the mix, and it waters it down. I think the best faction that has stood the test of time is probably the Bullet Club, but the way they do it is it's continually a new uprising of somebody new that's taking over, and it's that fight for power. The Judgment Day was starting to do that in WWE, where we see this new rendition of the Judgment Day after the last new rendition of the Judgment Day. And so it can happen. I just hope that
get to that.
AEW learns from history of people dropping these balls of these invasion, hostile takeover type storylines.
Aces and eights.
Yep.
What else is going on in AEW that we're digging on?
I am so happy to see my fellow 50-year-old from South Carolina, Shelton Benjamin, back in the ring. Yes.
He
Love me some Shelton
goes
Benjamin.
against doesn't he have a match with Swerve coming up? Is it tonight?
No, tonight is Sammy Guevara.
Okay.
Against Shelton Benjamin.
I think they're building towards a Swerve.
Then it's the next pay-per-view or something.
It could be.
Because I saw an advertisement with those two going at it, which is great because then that's able to take that next step. But then we're going to go on to then see the debut of Bobby Lashley, and then that big build, and then eventually bring Swerve into the fold, and
or slow build it and
put that head to head with Mox,
or slow build it and you have a Lashley and Shelton against Swerve and Keith Lee. Because how painful would it be to watch a Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee match?
Yes, please.
That'd be great. I'd love it.
I would absolutely love it.
What did you guys think of the what was it, match last week with Shelton?
It's good.
Yeah.
It was good. There were some things that and who was it that he worked? Some young guy. I can't remember.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Oh, was it Leo Rush?
Yes, it was Leo. Yep.
Yeah, and but there was some things during that match that those in the know would watch and go, "Oh, okay, Shelton needs to get control of that kid. Slow him down just a little bit."
He did. But yeah, especially at the beginning, there was just a couple things early on at the beginning.
So excited.
And then once they went to the outside, then all of a sudden it was like the pace changed, and that was even with Leo getting an extended shine in, and it was just like it was good to see. Yeah, it was good to see Shelton just proving, hey, I can still wrestle with the best.
Oh my
And that's where it's like, all of a sudden, AEW saying, hey, we're the best wrestle. I'm like, you got Shelton Benjamin here, and he wasn't really prominently featured in WWE, and that was a huge drop of the ball. It's just like, what are you doing?
Right.
I mean, they saw Lashley, and they're like, yeah, we'll push Lashley, and we'll put him with the Street Profits and BFAB, and they'll be the Pride. And it's like, well, seriously?
Let's face it. That was a Vince thing, and he's been senile for a while.
Yeah. But then, I mean, Triple H still dropped the ball because he had everybody there, and he just didn't see the Hurt Business, and he's like, man, I just don't see it. And I wonder if some of that's because, it's another DX ripoff, and it's like, but
do you think that's really a matter of that because I don't think that it was so much that Triple H didn't see it as much as he had everything else already booked out and planned out, doing more long format, and putting so much quality into the current programs and the writing and the storytelling that where would you put them? You can't put those guys back to NXT. You can't put those guys on
but
X or
if
Twitter.
you look at where WWE is now, from big storylines, you've got the Bloodline storyline, but you've also got the Judgment. There's another faction doing their thing. You've also got the Wyatt Sick6 over there, and you've also got Karrion Kross's group. I don't even remember what they're called.
Yeah,
now.
You can get rid of those guys. I'm over them already.
But it's like you've got, and plus then you've got Alpha Academy, and you've got all these other groups.
And you got the New Day, and you got whoever else.
So they had these groups, and that was the thing to me. It was like, you had a group that we didn't really get to see the Hurt Business live in front of a crowd, but they were one of the redeeming segments that came out of, the Thunderdome COVID era, because it was when there wasn't a lot of, and they were doing such great work that online, everybody loved them. And they're like, we want more. And then, Vince, they get back and Vince is like, nah, let's not do it. And then you listen to some of MVP's, rants just him kind of saying, hey, the biggest issue is,
that rants.
Well, and when he's like, biggest issue was we would propose ideas and they say, no, we don't see that for you guys right now. And then they just wouldn't be booked. And then 6 months later, all of a sudden the proposed storyline is being run by the Bloodline. And it's just like,
yeah, but that's the nature of the beast. I mean, when you plant an idea in somebody's head and they go, no, not for you right now, that generally means either 1, not for you, 2, not right now, or 3, I'm not listening because I've got too much on my plate already. And
I think it was probably 3.
But you already planted a seed, so oh, hey, I don't remember I had this idea. What if we do this? Since now you're asking with this group what we can do, why don't we do this?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that? I don't remember.
Right. I think now, looking at it, it's probably 3. It's probably, a couple years ago, Triple H having way too much on his mind. Here we are 2 years later, and he's able to shift some things around, and more people and more writers have bought into what the vision is, and there's more streamlined, and you don't have Vince breathing down your back of your neck trying to change things all the time. So now he can have more things going on. I don't know. I'm excited to see what it's going to happen, because if that was true, if some of the Bloodline ideas were from MVP's ideas, and you've now got AEW that Tony Khan's like, hey, if you've got a good idea, just run with it. Like, he doesn't, it's not like everything has to filter through him. If that's the case,
then
this could be really good.
See some good TV.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Who's go, Dust?
Oh, I was just going to say, another thing I really like, as far as match-wise, Saturday night, you had Ricochet and AR Fox. And those guys had a banger of a match. I mean, it was so good, so good. But AR Fox I think he's one of the most underrated wrestlers AEW has. I mean, he can fly with any of them. He can turn around and wrestle with any of them.
In-ring ability is top notch.
Absolutely. He's just missing the it factor.
He just needs a gimmick. He needs that character development a little bit. That's the thing that he's missing.
So hard to get on the indies.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a great match. Yep. What else they had? They had the House of Black came back and just destroyed some local guys, which that's not a big surprise, but you know. And I was saying to Josh earlier, Brody King posted something the other day that he said it won't be long before we see Little Miss Julia Hart back, which got me so excited. So excited.
Yep.
So, yep. Yeah. She has grown so much with going with the House of Black and learning from those guys. And, I'm looking forward to it.
You know, and
I'm enjoying it.
Speaking about the House of Black, back when they had Julia Hart coming in, they brought her in and she's starting to get that little paint blotch on her face and doing a little something right before her injury with bringing Sky Blue in, and then Sky Blue gets injured. But right before all that, that was a slow build storyline that House of Black was doing. And there were a lot of these, you know, kind of cryptic vignettes that they're doing, promos from the back. And it was, I was sucked in. Like, I mean, I think we're all kind of there where it's like their in-ring is amazing and their characters are very intriguing. And when you combine that element, it's like, I don't care what they're doing and who they're wrestling. You just said House of Black and I'm in for it. Like, I want to see. I don't know, maybe it's something that the fast-paced internet culture and a lot of the high-flying indie stuff, you know, got me away from slow build storylines. But now I'm looking back on the stuff that's actually keeping my attention and sucking me in. And it's like maybe all the time, the slower, the better.
Yeah.
Like I'm enjoying it.
How much of that do you think it's because you didn't have the slow build access and you didn't grow up in the time of 4 pay-per-views a year and that was it?
Yeah. And that very well could be. I
mean, take a look at the difference between WrestleMania 3 and 4. I mean, you had the whole Macho Man and Hogan angle thing going on over a year.
Well, and like you sit there and think about, even in the 2010s in WWE, like you think with the women's championship, Charlotte Flair is a 17-time world champion.
Mm-hmm.
And in WWE alone, the second and third place, or the tie for second place, is between Trish Stratus and Sasha Banks, who both had 7 championships. And that was Sasha only being in there on the main roster for all of, 3 years? Like, it was a short-lived time. But there were so many... It was like they're bouncing the belts back and forth between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
It's a hardcore title.
And it's bouncing all over the place.
24/7.
Right. And so at that point, it just became so difficult, you know, to know what was going on and who's got it. Like, I mean, there was the one where, what was it? Was it Nikki Ash when she was Nikki ASH? She was the Money in the Bank winner. And if I remember right, that's when Charlotte Flair beat Ronda Rousey for the belt. And then the very next night, Nikki winds up cashing in on her. And it was like a 1-day title reign for Charlotte Flair. And that's essentially putting her at 17 or 16 to tie her dad, whatever it was.
Well, let's face it. Kane has a 1-day title reign. Come on.
Yeah, that type of stuff. And I think it's some of that, like you said, where I haven't been exposed to it enough. And even thinking in our time with being in wrestling, I mean, how many different times did I hold tag titles? I don't know. I mean, there were times that we didn't even have a match. Like, we had dropped them one week, and then we show up to the next week at a new town, and we're just handed the belts and be like, here, you're the tag champs. You're dropping them again. And I was like, but I didn't even win them. It was like, it's a new crowd. They have no clue.
Semantics.
They don't pay attention to what's going on the internet. They don't follow us on social media. You're fine.
Well, and I will say, going back to the 80s when Corey's talking about the 4 pay-per-views a year, the 80s and early 90s, that type of thing. One thing WWE did, and I'm really liking the fact that AEW is doing, is they're not only just bringing in big names like your Shelton Benjamin, your Daniel Bryan, or your Bryan Danielson, your Jon Moxley, and those big names, but they're also growing wrestlers.
Right.
And they're growing wrestlers from wrestlers that are in squash matches.
Yeah.
You know, Sky Blue, I don't know how many of them Sky Blue lost before she finally started winning something.
Right.
Julia Hart,
Outrunners.
she started losing. The Outrunners.
The Outrunners.
And the fact that
some of the old Outrunners stuff. I was like,
right.
I remember seeing these guys, and I was like, who are they? Couple jobbers, like no facial hair, and
who wants an FTR runners or an FT runners t-shirt?
I'll take one.
Yeah,
I'll take one.
Yeah. I was just showing Dustin that they just dropped a Outrunners fanny pack that is embroidered, and it says
Get
the
out.
stuff.
The stuff.
It's like,
I need that in my life.
Right? I was like, I didn't want a fanny pack, but now I might want a fanny pack.
And before we go to WWE, one last match that I really liked, that was on Battle of the Belts. The Battle of the O's. Okada versus O'Reilly. Good match. Good match. And I don't even like Okada, but that was a good match.
I didn't get a chance to watch Collision or Battle of the Belts, so I will have to check that out.
It's on your list.
It will definitely be on the list.
Segueing over to, hang on, before we get to the Fed.
Yep.
NXT. Has anybody other than me been watching NXT as of late?
The whole thing, no. I watched Stephanie Vacour. I watched her match.
Thank you.
It was a good match. And I fast forwarded through the rest.
Have you seen her?
I don't watch any.
They teaming up with was it
Julia? Yeah.
And
I didn't watch it from this week's yet.
Yeah, their match last night was pretty good, and apparently this weekend they're going to be facing the little Polly Pocket champion and
Pop Rocks, Roxy Perez.
Yeah, Roxy Perez
Roxanne Perez.
And Cora Jade. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah, because this is Halloween Havocs this weekend, right?
That's right.
Yeah. We're not
as
doing
far as the rest. As far as the rest of that show, don't care. But those two ladies coming in, that's entertainment. They're both a little bit different, and they both have a little bit different style, a little bit different look, but it's cool and it's fun to watch. They did a promo where one is speaking in Spanish, getting translated, the other speaking Japanese, getting translated, and they both showing pictures of them over in Japan working together and battling, but also then becoming friends and things. And so it's kind of it's
and they both speak Carney. So
yeah, and they've got some broken English, you can tell by some of the ring.
Well, I will say NXT ever since Mandy got fired, their women's division's been suffering. They've been trying to backpedal a little bit, and now they're starting to make some strides finally.
And there's some other chick that's supposed to be making her debut and coming in, wrestled as Delta.
Yeah, I did hear something about that. They got another one that's...
I don't know.
There's that one from Australia that they...
I don't remember what new name they slapped on her, but yeah.
I don't know.
Supposed to be...
Yeah, there's one from Australia. I don't know if that's the same one I'm thinking of, but they've got...
probably because I did see that there was a tweet of Rhea Ripley tweeting, telling her to come in and be herself.
Okay.
Welcoming her to the group.
So going into SmackDown and Raw.
Yes.
And WWE.
Slow build storylines are king. Like the
Jay
Uso.
From
going like 2 weeks ago where it's just Jimmy and Roman, and Jimmy's like, we need to reach out to Jay, and he's like, nope,
no,
not gonna happen. And then Jay going over to Monday Night Raw, or Jimmy going to Monday Night Raw and trying to talk to Jay, and he's just like, no yeet. And then Jay goes over to SmackDown before Jimmy and Roman show up to address what's going on. And oh yeah,
I was pulling a rock. I was like, when Jay was turning around, he's talking to Solo, and then without skipping a beat, turns and says, "And if you keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna have to." I'm just like, yeah, get him, have it happen right now.
Now, what was the bigger tingles? That or seeing Braun Breaker square up against Jacob Fatu?
I'll take either one. Flip a coin.
Jay, I'm still not sold on Braun Breaker.
No, but to see both of them being, oh, I'm the tough guy in here, and then both kind of stand there squaring off, and the crowd's just like, oh.
And see, I would
who thinks they're tough now?
Because I don't know. I think Jacob could just demolish him.
Correct.
He thinks he's big and bad, and I think you may think you're the big dog, but you ain't the big dog. You ain't the big dog.
To me, it's like going back WCW when you get Goldberg squaring off against Kevin Nash, and it's like, sorry, I don't believe it.
It's when Goldberg squared off against Haku.
And
you're like, Goldberg's going to get demolished, and he did.
That's exactly it. It's like, hey, if we turned into a shoot right now, sorry, you're not undefeated anymore.
I heard somebody, one of the vets, I can't remember who it was, being asked if you were two of the toughest guys. Two of the toughest guys being Haku and Harley Race. If you were to square them off against each other, which one would? And it's like Haku's a completely different animal. He's in his own category.
Yeah.
Harley could knock out anybody in the bar, but Haku would. He's his whole category.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, that face off, yes, and then flowing over into Monday night where we see it, and then even so you see that little Roman, was that on SmackDown still? No, I think it was on Raw. Because it was when Jay was leaving and Jimmy and Roman come in.
That was on SmackDown.
That was SmackDown, yeah. And he said he was proud of him.
So yes, proud of him. Yep.
And then
that's right, because we didn't see Jimmy and we didn't see Jimmy and Jay or Jimmy and Roman on Raw. We just saw the Bloodline 2.0 show up during that match, and
intentionally or inadvertently,
who knows? And could it just be a little dissension in the ranks of maybe Jacob Fatu just decided to do what Solo had told him not to do anyways? Maybe that's not what Solo wanted, and maybe Jacob's just like, yeah, I don't care. He just sent me over the table, so yeah. I don't know. And that's the thing
for War Games.
I don't know.
For War Games.
And I love what I don't know because it builds the anticipation, it builds the curiosity, and it's that curiosity loop that he just keep creating in me. Now I'm looking forward to it.
It kind of makes you wonder at some point in time when we do build to a War Games scenario and it's team versus team, at what point is it just going to turn into a big schmoz and everybody's beating on everybody?
I will say there are other things over the course of the last couple of weeks that I enjoyed, but as far as key points, those are my key points as far as for me personally. There's things that I also enjoy, but there's other things that I'm like,
The Bloodline is the thing that makes me go right there. It's like
right now.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm still watching.
That's what I want to see. Now, while I'm there, the Judgment Line or the Judgment Day keeps me in. It's like, okay,
and the Wyatt Six,
it brings me back. Talk about a slow build, and the slow build storyline with the Wyatt Six, man. Like what
is that really a slow build, or did they have like a 2-week vacation?
Well, I mean, possibly, but then you get on the internet wrestling community that is pixel peeping every single frame of Raw, and they're like, oh, but did you see that Lily, the little doll, was right over the shoulder of Liv Morgan when she was cutting a promo with Dominic Mysterio there, and it's like the Lily doll's on the backside, which all of a sudden I'm like, I didn't see that. And now I saw that. And then I'm like, wait.
Did you go back and look at it to see it?
No, I mean, it was somebody that had posted it on there. And I was like, I didn't see that. And I was like, and now that I see that, does that mean Alexa Bliss is going to be coming in soon? And if she's coming in soon and the Lily doll was over the shoulder of Liv Morgan, is Little Miss Bliss coming straight in and putting Liv in the crosshairs?
Okay.
And then I'm like, now you've taken Wyatt Six and Judgment Day and possibly putting them up together. And then I'm like, oh, there's some interesting matches that could happen with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think over the last couple months, especially with the Wyatt Six, they've been planting so many seeds. There have been seeds planted on both shows in around various different people part of Damage Control and other groups, that I think they're really just planting so many seeds and kind of waiting to see what pans out themselves before they go, all right, we just decided this week this is the direction, because they're trying to maybe tease the interest and see where more chatter happens.
And that's very possible, knowing the way that, Triple H and even The Rock, they liked it. Let's listen to the audience. Let's see what the audience is saying. And it could be because he likes the slow build. It could be a case of he's like, okay, they really want to see this one happen, so let's give them this one now because they want this. They want this more, but let's give them this now, and we'll save the anticipation for this later.
That one. Build that one.
And if it also gives them a lot of different options in case this person gets injured or something pops up with we've got an opportunity for this that just, in the moment, this just came out of it. Let's go ahead and run with it. And I like that they're doing that with the Wyatt Six because it does have that mystery around it, that it's all questions. Like, don't know anything. And yet every time I start to see the lights go out, the fireflies come out, it's like I'm rewinding and I want to watch the entire thing just to see what happens. Which, talk about Karrion Kross's group, whatever they are.
Right.
The fact that you've now got the Wyatt Six interjecting, that's the most intriguing development in Karrion Kross's kind of storyline too.
And Scarlett took a great bump from Nikki Cross. Off of that Lou Fez from the top rope. That was really good.
Yep.
And Paul Ellering getting in the mix.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's about time.
Yeah.
I mean, you expect him to just be the mouthpiece and nothing more, and then. All right,
I do want to see some more single matches out of the Wyatt Six. I want to see Eric Rowan by himself. I want to see Dexter Lumis. I want to see Nikki Cross. I want to see these guys in singles matches, not just the schmaz.
So that's where I could see
Uncle Howdy manage that wig.
Yeah. I could really see them doing that, especially now that they're kind of targeting another faction that is a bigger faction, where yeah, there's options of what you can do. You can, especially if them kind of having the Miz in the mix too. It's like there's lots of options. I don't know where that leaves R-Truth, who is a national treasure still, but
he's going to step down from the Judgment Day and he's going to join the Six.
He will be the sixth.
No, he's just going to switch days from Judgment to New.
There you go. There you go. Yep. That's quite possible. So no, I'm loving the slow build of stuff that's happening.
I will say the women's championship mixed match between different shows and whatnot is a little more entertaining.
Yeah,
because it seemed like one was a little heavier, the other was a little bit lighter. The women's tag division is like a hot mess, so right. I don't even know what they're doing with that. But to see Rhea Ripley teaming with the Barbie doll was just that was
right. That was funny.
That was comical. That was good. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yep. Nope. Anything else that's happened that you guys can think of? Big things that really standing out or that you're looking forward to that we haven't touched on?
Looking forward to Dynamite this week. Looking forward to, the Saudi show next week. I'm looking forward. I think I'm going to make a three-peat of retaining my title belt.
Oh, you do?
Feeling pretty good. I feel pretty good about it, yeah.
Do we have a teaser of any matches for the for Saudi other than the Crown Jewel?
Yeah, there's going to be a champion versus a champion.
I said other than.
Oh, okay.
So we got two matches that we know of. Pause
one more
for a
time.
Second.
Yeah.
We had two matches.
Say it again, Corey.
That we were talking about. So there was the two matches that we were talking about.
Yep.
But aside from that, was there any other additional things?
Looks
added?
like
I want to say there was something added on Raw.
Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. That should be amusing. That still leaves room for what? 2 more matches? If they play true.
Yeah, because Saudi will only get 5 matches.
Right.
Yeah. Which, hey, the fewer the matches, the greater the chance Dustin probably has of being a back-to-back-to-back. Yeah. So, who knows? But probably not, because he's probably going to say that Gunther is going to beat Cody Rhodes, and we all know that Gunther is going to lose because Bill Goldberg's going to show up and interfere in the match.
But Ludwig will come out and take care of Goldberg. Ludwig Kaiser.
It's possible.
He'll get jackknifed. He'll get speared and jackknifed.
It's possible. No, I mean, hey, I'm just thinking Crown Jewel's got to have some big name, like, show up. They don't necessarily have to be advertised, but they've got to show up because it's Saudi and they pay the money for the big names. So some legend's got to show up somewhere. Don't know which one, but...
Rikishi.
I don't know.
Who's next?
But
yeah,
we don't have a Bloodline thing set up for Crown Jewel yet.
Still got another week.
I don't think they will, though. It doesn't feel like they're going to set something up from there because of the way the storyline's going. It's got such a slow build that it's just, I think they're pointing everything straight towards Survivor Series.
It's going to be the return of The Undertaker.
He's supposed to be showing up to the Performance Center and helping out at NXT sometime next week.
Yeah, he's supposed to show up next week, and they're probably going to advertise him before too long because I think they're doing Wednesday night going head-to-head against Dynamite, if I remember right.
I was going to say NXT. I read somewhere NXT actually sold out in like 20 minutes, their Philly show.
Yeah, because they're going in ECW Arena.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. Good. Congratulations.
I still won't watch it.
Me neither.
Too much other wrestling to consume.
I'll fast forward.
Just hop on for those one matches and then.
Hey, I don't even have time to do that. Remember, I missed out on Ricochet and AR Fox, so I still got to go get that.
Slacker.
Yeah. Anywho, well, that's all we got for this week. We will catch you guys in the next episode. Will be for next week when we are giving out our predictions for Crown Jewel 2024 to see if Dustin can retain his undisputed PPV PLE prediction championship.
Not a chance.
I did.
Later.
See ya.
Bye, guys.